Hey, what's up? It's Luke here at JTech. I'm going to try and do a quick video on explanation of a torque converter and the fluid, how it flows through it, and how it actually turns your transmission. Alright, so you got your transmission here, you got your input shaft. This here doesn't actually connect to the motor, it connects to the torque converter. When you put a torque converter in, you know, it takes several clicks and clunks for it to actually go all the way in. I'm going to kind of explain that and see all the different parts on the inside. So this one here is a heavy duty truck torque converter. It goes into an Allison. This here is your turbine. This would be the piece that goes to the inside of the transmission. This is also the piece that is bolted to the flex plate. Alright, so put this on real quick. There is a hub on the back side that turns the oil pump. So you got your needle bearings here, basically for thrust. Alright, so you got it. It's almost in. You got to kind of work it in. Alright, there, it finally dropped in. So that's the first clicky here. Alright, so this piece is connected to the motor. So this piece here is always spinning. Alright? This piece is always spinning when the motor's spinning. But it does not turn the transmission over. Now how to get that to work is centrifugal force of fluid. So you got your impeller here. Here's the intake side. This is usually filled about halfway full of fluid. So as this spins, this is taking fluid, sucking it through this vein, shooting it out at an angle. Alright, so this is your suction side. Think of it kind of like in a turbo. You got your impeller here, it's sucking the fluid in, shooting out. The next click you would hear is the stator. This is the middle piece. It's got springs and bearings on the inside of this. Basically like a one-way valve. It'll turn one way but will not turn the other way. Alright, so you got that click. It'll turn this way fine all day, but it will not turn the opposite direction. Alright, and that all plays part on how this fluid flows through the torque converter. Alright, so you got this piece here. Now the fluid is being sucked through the bottom, coming out this vein, shooting up at an angle. You got your turbine here. Now keep in mind, this is usually welded. This would be the I guess you could call it the front side, but it's actually the turbine side. So you got fluid shooting out of those bottom veins. This side catches that, all right, and these splines go to this part of the input shaft, which is connected to the transmission. So once that starts going, you're going to start turning all the gears, clutch plates and everything else in there. So the fluid at low speed, this is all low speed right now. So as you're going, the fluid's turning, it catches here in the turbine. Now this starts to spin. Alright, now while it's spinning, that fluid, it's kind of hard to do one-handed. That fluid shoots in here, catches it, and takes a hard turn and shoots back out that way. Now the centrifugal force of this thing turning is already multiplying the pressure that's inside of here. So that's going to take that fluid and shoot it back through here. Alright, now these veins come and transfer and face down. They're angled this way, alright? But the stator can't turn that way. So what it does is it hits this vein, and if you look, that vein shoots it back down, which in turn shoots it back directly into the suction veins, which gives it a boost. Alright, so now you got pressurized fluid, fluid with a force coming down into the suction side, which gives your motor an extra oomph, which is multiplying the torque of what it's actually putting out. And it's usually between 1.5 to 2 times Man, I lost my train of thought. But it multiplies it as it, you know, a little bit. You know, not incredibly amount, but it does multiply it. It gives you a little bit. It gives you a little extra boost. It gives your motor. It kind of helps your motor turn along. All right. And all this is happening at low speeds before lockup, or sorry, before stall. All right. So once this thing starts turning fast enough, that centrifugal force, kind of like a centrifuge, is going to pull all this fluid to the outside. It'll still be spinning on the outer vanes, but it won't be directed to here. And then this will be able to free spin along with the rotation of the transmission. All right, so that's basically kind of a rough idea. I hope I explained that well, or enough to make sense. Trying to get that out of my head and communicate that well. But that's basically how a torque converter works. And then you got the lockup. You know, the solenoid here, you hit 12 volts to it or whatever, it'll direct fluid to come up through the inside of this input shaft. It'll shoot it inside the back side of this piston. All right, now you got fluid on the back side of this. It's going to push it up, which this piston will push up, and it will put pressure against the lockout clutch disc, which will in turn, you got pressure in here, boom. Now you have no slippage. You know, it's better for low engine RPM, high speed, to help save gas mileage and avoid as much slippage of that torque converter as possible. Helps keep it cool. The majority of the heat created by the transmission is generated right in here because of all the slippage and turning and moving parts of the fluid. Yeah, that's basically kind of a rough explanation, but it makes sense to me. I just hope I explained it well enough to make sense to others. Appreciate you watching, and yeah, that's it.